To start section 8.3, we're going to talk about how to find the volume of a solid using cross-sectional area. Here's a common problem. A solid has its base in the xy plane and is bounded by these three equations. The cross sections perpendicular to the x-axis are equilateral triangles with bases in the given plane. I've got a little applet here that's supposed to show you how this looks. Let me see how well it's going to work for me here. It wasn't working too well when I was testing it, but if you would graph the three lines they gave you, so this is half x minus 1, I know they have it labeled wrong, but this is a graph of half x minus 1, and this is a graph of negative half x plus 1. They're both linear equations, and then of course x equals 0 is the y-axis. You're going to get this triangle, okay? That is the base of a solid. Now, cross sections, which from above just look like this little line here, or rectangle, are actually equilateral triangles. So if you look here in the three-dimensional version of it, now you can kind of see, okay, there's that base bound by those three lines, and then here's what a cross-section looks like. Now I can slide that cross-section back and forth, and here's the part that hasn't been working so well for me. I don't know if the internet is just slow or my connection is bad or what, but if I try to slide this along, yeah, it's just not working. It's supposed to, what you're supposed to be seeing is this cross-section moving back and forth. And then I can actually generate the solid by pulling this over, and it will show a whole bunch of cross-sections filling in this entire solid. Unfortunately, that's not working very well. It's about the third time I've tested it, so I'm not having a whole bunch of luck with that. I'll try to reset it and come back to this in a little bit and see if it's working better, just so I can show you that. But what we're going to try to do here is we need to find out how to find the volume of this particular figure. So what you want to start to do is kind of draw a little picture of it. So in your XY plane, if you can simply draw a line, and it can just be a sketch, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if I could draw a sketch of a negative half x plus 1 and half x minus 1, and then of course y equals 0, you've got this triangular region there, okay? Now obviously my sketch isn't that pretty, but it'll do the trick. So now what I want to do is, if I have a cross section here, the length of this cross section is going to be the base of my equilateral triangle. So this little line you see right here is this base. Now how long is that base? Well, the base runs from the graph of y equals negative half x plus 1 to y equals 1 half x minus 1. So the length of this base, all I have to do is subtract the upper location minus the lower location. And even when the base gets smaller here and the triangles get smaller, that distance is still recorded using those two equations. It's just that we're at a different x value, so it'll give a different y value. So the length of the base of this triangle is going to be negative half x plus 1 minus half x minus 1. Now if we actually subtract those, I'm going to get negative x plus 2. Okay, negative a half minus a half is a negative 1x. 1 minus a negative 1 is 2. So that's the base of this triangle. Now, to find the volume of this figure, which is what they're going to ask me to do, I have to integrate from the furthest left x value, which is 0, to the furthest right x value of the region. Now, where are these going to cross? Well, if I go up 1 over 2, I know this is going to cross at x equals 2. So I want to find the volume of this entire thing by finding the volume of just one of these cross sections and then going all the way from 0 to 2. So what we're basically going to do is integrate the area, the cross-sectional area, times, if you look at my picture here, let's see if this will work now. If you look at my little picture here, this thing has a little thickness to it, right? So the area of the triangle times the thickness, which we call dx. Let's see if I can move this along now. Let me turn this off real quick. It's off, okay. Yeah, it still isn't working. It's really a drag. Let me see if I can make it move here. Just can't. Golly. But at any rate, you can see the cross section. You can see it has a little thickness to it. We're going to call that dx, or change in x. And how do I find the area of an equilateral triangle? Well, if you look at the previous page in your notes, we have all these area formulas for finding volumes by cross-sectional area. So if we go down the list and look for an equilateral triangle with a side in the plane, it's radical 3 over 4 s squared. We're going to develop in class exactly where these formulas come from. So radical 3 over 4 s squared. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to use that area formula. So to find this volume, and get my marker back here, we're going to integrate from 0 to 2. Radical 3 over 4 is a constant that can go out front, times the side squared. Now how long is each side? Negative x plus 2. So we're going to start with just saying side squared, but then say, okay, how big is the side? And that would be radical 3 over 4 times the integral from 0 to 2 of the quantity negative x plus 2 squared with respect to x. This radical 3 over 4 negative x plus 2 represents the area formula. And I should have put a dx here. And the dx represents the thickness of that cross section, which the smaller the thickness, the more accurate we will get. So if I can evaluate this integral, I will have the volume of this figure. And I'm going to try one more time. I don't have high hopes for it, but one more time if I kind of go through here. Oh, you can see it drew it. You can see what the solid looks like now. It took forever, but when all these triangles are put up, it kind of looks like a pyramid type shape. And so the volume of that whole solid, we're just saying, okay, find the volume of just this one cross section and then integrate all the way from 0 to 2. So what it's doing is it's basically taking the sum of all the volumes of every cross section all the way across. And that's what we're finding the volume of, okay? Now, we can do this using fn int, no problem, but that's how you set up the integral, okay? Let's look at another example. Now, let's find the volume of a solid whose base is the region enclosed by the curve x squared plus yx squared equals 4. That's a circle with a radius of 2. The cross sections perpendicular to the x-axis are squares with bases in the plane enclosed by the curve. So let me show you an example of this one now, which I'm sure will work equally as outstanding as the first one did. But let me try to open this one, and you're going to see the circle x squared plus y squared equals 4, which is a circle of radius 2 with center at the origin. And here it comes. Okay, so there's the circle of radius 2. This is the graph of x squared plus y squared equals 4. Now, a cross section perpendicular to the x-axis. Let's see if it lets me slide it across this time. Here's the 3D view. So if I kind of come across, it gets big in the middle and then smaller on the edges. And of course it won't work for me. I'm a nice person. Why doesn't this work? So it just won't work. But anyway, there it goes. If I want to generate the solid, again, I can kind of drag this across and it will kind of form the entire solid. So you see it's reluctantly, and slowly moving for me. I did that movement a ton ago, but you can see the square is really big in the middle, and when it's closer to the left side, now it gets smaller. Oh, and there's what the solid ends up looking like. All these squares end up looking like this solid. So how can I find the volume of this? Well, I'm going to find the area, the cross-sectional area of the square, times its thickness. That'll be the volume of one cross-section. And then I'm going to integrate from -2 all the way over to +2. Okay, now the area of a square is easy. It's just a side squared, right? We don't have to look at the formula sheet for that. So for this one, I am going to integrate from -2 to +2. Okay, by the way, if we were to solve this for y, like if you weren't sure that this was a circle, we could solve it for y, right? Y would be plus or minus the square root of 4 minus x squared. So on your calculator, you could graph in y1, y equals positive square root of 4 minus x squared, and negative square root of 4 minus x squared. So what you're basically getting is the top half, the semicircle, if you will, of radius 2, and then the bottom half is the negative square root of 4 minus x squared. Okay? And we're going from -2 over to +2. Now, this cross section represents the side of the square. So if I draw that cross section, how big is a side of the square? Well, it goes from the top half of the circle, which is the square root of 4 minus x squared, minus the bottom half of the circle, which is negative square root of 4 minus x squared. Well, subtracting those, I get 2 radical 4 minus x squared, and that's how long this side is, the distance from there to there. So I'm just simply integrating this formula with respect to x. So I'm going from an x value of -2 over to an x value of +2. And how long is the side? Well, the side is 2 times the square root of 4 minus x squared. So I'll put the 2 as a constant out front, and then square root of 4 minus x squared dx. And we would simply use our calculator again, fn it, and we'll be able to find that volume. Okay? You know, this thing, you're supposed to be able to change the cross sections also. I don't know if it'll let me, but right now the cross sections are squares that are above the axis. I could change it to like equilateral triangles, like the other one, when isosceles triangles, but you can see how that changes what the figure looks like. They're no longer squares now. So now the figures are isosceles triangles with a base in the plane, and now the figure looks a little bit different. There you can kind of see it. This is really doing a lousy job. It's been much better in the past. I don't know, it's just bad on the video or what. So, but you can see how that figure looks. I could go to, let me see what else I could do here. I could go to like semicircles, make it look even different yet. Circles, it'll just look like a sphere. That's no fun. Let's see if I can go down further. Let's go semicircles, it'll look like a hemisphere. So if I do semicircles, now it kind of looks like that. It looks kind of like a dome stadium or something like that, okay? And now you'd have to find the cross-sectional area of a semicircle times its thickness and integrate all of them from -2 to 2, okay? All right, so now back to the lesson. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do a couple examples like that. So on this first video, I really just wanted to show you you can do the problems without looking at that three-dimensional picture, but I think it helps you understand that how is this solid being created, okay, with the shape of the base and then a certain type of cross section. So hopefully you at least got something out of seeing that and what it looked like. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do just some more example problems on these 2 pages, and that'll be it. So see you next video.